Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Mike Parker here today, alongside Artie DeFoya from ABC. Artie, how's it going?
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Why am I doing great? Because as I look out my window right now, there's not 15 inches of snow out there anymore.
Yeah, it melted pretty quickly, didn't it?
It doesn't take long once we get a little bit of rain and some actual sunshine. In fact, though, it'll mess with you a little bit because you look out the window and it's like, my gosh, what a beautiful spring day. Then you walk out there and it's still 26 degrees. So we are in that transition phase.
Yeah, that reminds you that we're not quite there yet when you step outside. But, I needed some sun and now I got some, and my attitude's already improved, Mike.
I know. There's something about a sunny morning that'll get you going a little bit more than those doldrums of winter. So that's what we talk about this time of year. You know, we turn the calendar from February to March, and it really is a transition. And so as transitions go, we've got the seasons here in Pennsylvania, and it's a great time of year to head outside, grab a bite to eat, have a cold beer, start thinking about when we can actually throw some shorts and t-shirts on and stuff like that. So let's talk about what we're looking forward to here at Appalachian Brewing Company today. And as we do that, I think we should bring in, introduce a guest that we have here with us today. Artie, do you want to take care of an introduction for us?
Sure, Mike. Today I invited a good friend of mine to come in, really a business partner, more so than anything. Friend and then business partner, but Brian Gross of John Gross and Company. He's here with us today, and I asked him to come in. Brian and I have been working together for 15 plus years, Mike, and a great majority of the time that we've been Appalachian Brewing Company. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the support and success that he's allowed us, and his company. We're basically one company working together as two companies. So Brian here. Welcome, Brian.
Oh, thank you very much. And as Artie has said, as goes Appalachian Brewing Company, so does John Gross and Company. And I'm very thankful for that, as my company has grown in direct proportions as Appalachian has.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, and great to have you here today. And it's just a perfect pairing if you talk to me. If I'm thinking about it, because you've got a local beer, you've got a local food distribution company, and I guess what they say is steel sharpens steel, right? So you guys have made each other better along the way. Artie, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how important it is to have quality food to go alongside of a quality beer.
Yeah, Mike, we always have had as one of our tenets that we want to serve fresh food every day. We want our customers to notice the difference between prepackaged foods and foods that are prepared every day for our customers. And, I know it tastes better. I taste it every day because I end up eating here, as you can see, via Zoom. But you get the idea that our food here, it's fresh. It's fresh every day. And the only way that we can do that is by working with a local purveyor who gets fresh product himself and provides that same product to us. So Brian has always, sometimes I'll go to Brian and say, "Hey, Brian, I need this, and I need it fresh, and I need it here right away." And he's like, "Artie, you're challenging me," but he always takes the challenge on and does a great job.
I think some of the phone calls I hang up and say, "Yeah, I told him I'm going to do that. Now, how am I going to do that?" But we always seem to find a way, and that Artie is very particular about the ingredients. He sources and does a lot of experimentation before the new menus are introduced. And I got to give him credit. He comes up with winners and finds those gems out there. And my job's to procure them and deliver them whenever called upon.
All right. Well, it sounds like a good partnership that's become a great friendship. And obviously, if you're, distributing food to a bunch of Appalachian Brewing Company locations, not a bad place to visit in person every once in a while to get yourself a cold one. So as we welcome you again to the podcast here, Brian and Artie, I say cheers as I have a ice cold Water Gap wheat in my hand. Cheers to you both. What are you guys drinking?
I've got my Mountain Lager today, one of my favorites.
And I'm drinking the Out of Focus. Not sure why I picked Out of Focus today. I just was running down the taps, and it's a great beer year round. But here as we head into spring, a good double IPA is probably going to be good for me today.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in, January and February about how it's just seasonal. Some people have a taste for beer that changes with the seasons. And, so again, just sticking with the theme of transition, you may have been enjoying a porter, over the winter, and now that sunshine, for whatever reason, makes you want to go to maybe a lighter colored beer, something a little bit more crisp and refreshing, Artie?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we start getting lighter in terms of the flavors with the alcohol percentages and everything as we head towards spring and summer. But I'll tell you what, this Out of Focus, it's good year round. Every once in a while, I'll dig into one and remember just how excited I am to have the brewers that we have right now producing all the beers that are coming out.
So, Brian, we're talking about beer and we're talking about your business, food, and how important it is for people to marry those two and have a positive experience and really get, I guess, not only get your money's worth, but, get your palate's worth and pairing foods that match with beer. So what kind of experience do you have? And at least what have you learned by working with Artie over the years about, how important it is to take a style of beer like an Out of Focus double IPA or a mountain lager and then find the perfect food to, create a dish that goes really well with those flavors?
Most of us probably don't understand it. I one time, Marcia Shore was at Hack and the culinary director, and she teaches the course that there actually is a science to what goes together and how you taste and what is the blend and what sensations are going on in your mouth. And true chefs that study this art understand your bitters, your sweets, and everything that goes together. And there's so much that can be done with the true professional. I'm a purveyor. I have people who know what to do with that. I can't tell you it's my swim lane at all. But we source fresh seafood from the Boston and upper coast. And more, we're bringing in specialty cuts of beef. And Artie has done lots of brats and pork items that blend well with some of the products. So it comes from this is our jobs. This is our professional knowledge. And
yeah, that's right. And I know just enough to be dangerous, Mike. That's why I've got those great guys working in the kitchen, all of our different chefs and the locations. And these guys, their specials and the way they put together our food, they know those things better than I do. A lot of times they will ask me, what do you think goes well with this? Or what beer do you think would go better in this food item? But I got to tell you, I'm with Brian a little bit more in that food is a specialty thing. I'll do beer and all the other beverages. I leave that to those guys.
No doubt, though, that beer has become a pretty common ingredient. I mean, in good cooking for a lot of people. You see people, flaring up the saucepan with some wine or whatever, some brandy or over the years, on a cooking show. But beer can really add great flavor to a dish as well. Well, let's talk about something that's coming up here within, the next couple of weeks. In fact, we're in March, which means St. Patrick's Day, which means some Irish flavors. Artie, you got anything lined up at ABC? It's always a festive time there around St. Patrick's Day.
You bet. We have our stout, our Susquehanna stout. We have it year round, but we definitely feature it this time of the year. And then, of course, the Celtic Knot Irish Red. We have a batch coming out of that. So it's going to be something that people look forward to every year, along with our Irish menu to come out for Irish Fest. And we're excited to see that coming out here soon.
Brian, is that a challenge for you to meet the demands of restaurants and other customers that want something special around a certain time of year? Like they say, listen, I want to have a promotion of some sort around a St. Patrick's Day or an Oktoberfest, and I say, what can you get for me, and what can you get for me quick and affordably? What are those challenges like?
I just answered the call earlier this week for a gentleman who wanted blood sausage. It's a traditional Irish sausage. There's black, noir, and the blanc. And I have a company, Broadleaf, that is in the Colorado area, air freighted in the product for him to serve this weekend for his menu. We'll go out looking for whatever. Of course, corned beef brisket. I've got a cooler full of corned beef brisket waiting for the day. More sold in the month of March than the rest of the year combined. This is the food business is as much about entertainment as anything else. We're not all going to perish because we're that hungry by 10 o'clock tonight. We're going out to be inspired, to experience, and that's what pushing at the edges for unique foods and beverages like the Appalachian Brewing Company does. It's entertainment.
All right, well, we kicked off the conversation here on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast right now. We've got our special guest, Brian Gross, who's with John Gross and Company. So we look forward to continuing the conversation. We're going to be right back. We'll take a short break, and we'll see you in just a minute right back here on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. And we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast as we're talking about transitioning into spring. And well, if a backyard or patio cocktail is something that you're really interested in, or maybe a glass of bourbon, Appalachian Brewing Company definitely has something for you. It's the line of Appalachian craft spirits. And Artie, recently you guys have taken a step forward as to where I can find those ABC craft spirits. Where is that?
Yeah, Mike, right at the end of the year, we land placement in what was 10 state stores, the PLCB fine wine and spirit stores. They're mostly in the central Pennsylvania area, but we do have, we are actually in a store up in State College. We've gone into the stores. It's our job to go out and make sure that people buy from the store. And we support it by social media marketing and other marketing avenues. You know, this is a trial period for us, and we're excited to be able to be in those stores with actually 3 of our brands. We're in there with our 5-year bourbon, our vodka, and also our island rum. They didn't put our gin in quite yet, but we're hoping to get our gin in here in the next couple months or so. Very excited about being there and giving our regular consumers a chance to pick up our products when they go to their regular state store. For their regular state store visit to stock up, now they can buy our products and take them right directly home. So they can do that, and also this, Mike, because you've been over a few times, but they can also purchase any of our spirits here at our Mechanicsburg location where our distillery license is. So we're excited. And, I heard just yesterday that we're up to 16 stores that we have selling now. And I guess the way it works is if the store manager sees it and wants to bring it in because they're excited about it and they like it as a local product, or they just see it as being intriguing, or they've heard the quality ratings on it, they can bring it in without that initial placement. So we're very excited. One of the places that I found our product is up in Towanda at the state store up there. And I think the manager I called him and I said, hey, how did you end up with our product up there? He's like, I know you guys. I've heard of you guys. Every time I go down to the farm show complex, I stop in at your place. When I read about it, I ordered it and it came in and it's selling great. So, but up in Towanda, PA, you never would think, but it's selling well up there.
Good. Well, I know that I've been enjoying it. I always mention it, but it's for 12 months now, I've been enjoying it because it's been one of those quarantine constants for me is, I particularly love the vodka, and I have friends who are big fans of the 5-year bourbon. So, again, just a great job on that, and look for it. So if you happen to find yourself in one of the state spirit stores, make sure to check out Appalachian Craft Spirits. Look for the bourbon, the vodka, and the island style rum. You won't be disappointed. Great local product, just another way to support Appalachian Brewing Company here in your own backyard. All right, so our special guest here today is Brian Gross of John Gross and Company. And I thought we'd take a little bit of time right now because we always so often talk about the interesting history behind, the local company, behind Appalachian Brewing Company and how its humble roots in Harrisburg and being the first, microbrewery back in the late 90s and how it's grown. But I mean, John Gross and Company, as far as food distribution goes in central Pennsylvania, Brian, you guys have been around for quite a bit. Why don't you tell us about the history?
Sure, 70 years it is. And we began not far from the Cameron Street original location for Appalachian Brewing Company. My father and grandfather had a gas station down where Dodge City is in the area there. And a gentleman came in one day and said, would anybody know anybody interested in a Maxwell House coffee distributorship? My grandfather didn't like the automobile business and said, I think I'd like to give it a try. $300 bought the first load of coffee into their apartment on 13th Street in Harrisburg. And they decided next day we're going to go out and sell this stuff. Well, people said eventually, do you have tea? I'll buy tea. And they grew to a 1-car garage, then a 2-car garage. And now we have 100,000 square feet in Mechanicsburg with over 6,000 products that customers have asked for and expanded a full line. We are independent. We're part of a group of distributors nationwide, the Unipro Group, that has more sales volume than any of the big names that you see on the trucks combined. We're kind of an Ace Hardware group of things. We're independent, we're locally owned, operated, and all the decisions are made in Mechanicsburg. And we service about a 2-hour radius of Harrisburg.
So what about you? Are you second generation or third generation here at this point? What would you consider yourself?
Yes, I'm third generation, and fourth generation is in place. My 2 sons are with the business. I've got a sister who is one of our top grossing salespeople. My kids are, I had to put them in different parts of the company because as they were when they were young, they get to scrapping on each other, and it's best if you put them on different tasks. So one's a sales manager and one's an operations manager. So we have strength in the corners, and it is, I call them my retirement plan, that someday within the next decade, I'll turn the keys over, and I'm very confident that we'll be in the 4th generation and strongly prepared to remain independent, which is more independent distributors in the country are trying to figure out a way out and how to get the most for their business, most money for their business. I see it as a positive thing because I really feel that there is room for people in business yet these days, and it's not a corporate drive the total profit out by cutting middle management, by cutting customer service. They can do it online, so we don't need salespeople. We retained every employee that we had on the company roll when COVID hit this spring. And my feeling on that was that I want my company to be retained in whole, so that when this thing is over, I'm prepared to take advantage. My competitors shed all of their sales staff, many of their operations managers, because they're expensive to maintain. Well, fortunately, the government came along with the PPP programs and helped me survive through those periods. And now I see great possibilities right now I'm seeing restaurants starting to blossom. It's very encouraging what I see going on in the market right now.
I think there's going to be a boom. I think we're sort of on that bubble now. I think that people are, look, I'll tell you right now, a couple of times on a Friday night, I've tried to, my wife and I have thought about, hey, you can't just pop into a restaurant almost, because people are eager to support the places that are open and welcoming people in. And, hopefully as all this stuff gets behind us with the virus over the past year and doors reopen, it's going to be that spirit of the local companies like yourself and the places like Appalachian that are people are going to flock to. And I really see a renaissance as we turn the corner here. Artie, are you feeling the same thing? And as Brian talked about, well, he talks about just a real family atmosphere with his company. And I got to imagine, knowing you, that's something that keeps you working with John Gross and Company.
Yeah, the same as with Brian. We tried to do the best we could to keep everybody that we had. We knew there was another side of this. So the idea was that we had to keep every key person in our company. Of course, when we were shut down, we had no choice but to only retain our management team. But we got through all that, and I am concerned a little bit about us being able to perform at the level that we need to perform at. If everybody sort of hits us at once, I don't know how we're going to get those 200 employees back that have sort of just dissipated and disappeared over this time frame. But and that's over 6 locations, so it's not as bad as, per location, it's not as bad as it sounds, but we did have some attrition there, and we've got to be able to try to either get some of those people back because we need them, and they've already been trained, and they were all great, or we wouldn't have hired them in the first place. But if not, replace them with great people that'll serve our customers with the same attitude and same vigor, just making sure that all of our customers feel special. So yeah, I see the other end coming. I'm cautious about it because we've been told nothing was going to happen before, and things happen. So I do tread very cautiously, but I will say, Mike, we're going ahead with plans right now to come out of this thing smelling like a rose, and we need it. We need to do that. It's my job as a person running this company to make sure that those things happen, and I'm holding everybody to a high standard, including meeting with Brian not too long ago. We met a couple of weeks ago, and I even told Brian, I said, we're expecting you to help us in this way and in that way, he never says no to me, which I wish he would sometimes, because he may stop me from making mistakes sometimes. But no, he just jumps right in, man, and that's what's been so great about our relationship.
If I might add that most Artie and most restaurants as a whole are proceeding with cautious optimism. So what they're doing is keeping inventories and buying just what they think they're going to do. Well, the public is coming out at times in stronger numbers than that. One of the things we did this year is we opened for Sundays for the first time ever. And you wouldn't believe how many visits I have from local operators coming in and filling the cupboards because they didn't expect Saturday to be quite what it was.
Yeah, we only produce so much food for the weekend, because everything's fresh. It's not like we can just open up a box and throw it in the fryer or throw it somewhere so that it's ready to go. We have to know what we're producing that weekend. We've got a plan. We do have history to look at it, but we have to know what we're going to produce and not be able to run out of food. It's a real fine line, but you get to Sunday and all of a sudden, Brian's right, the cupboards are a little bare. Sometimes we do have to run, our sales guys and some of the people that work for Brian, you make a call and they'll be there for you. Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Thursday, it doesn't matter. They're there for us, and that's part of the strength of our relationship.
You guys have adapted splendidly, and it's been a challenging time for everyone, but one thing I think everyone has learned is how much we appreciate the ability, our freedom to go and just head out and grab a burger or grab a steak or something on the menu, at last minute notice, and also the importance of supporting our local businesses, because if you've lived in the community and you've seen some doors close, that's when it really became real for some people. Some people never saw anybody really get sick, or people didn't really experience the work from home environment that people like me have. Other people, it was status quo for a lot of folks. But when you started to notice the businesses closing, or the sign said "we'll be back," and that's when things got real. And so great job doing what you guys have done, including embracing the idea of takeout and outdoor dining. So as we continue the conversation here, we're going to take a short break and come back. And Artie, we're going to talk about something that's happening at the Mechanicsburg Brew Pub, an outdoor experience that you guys have in the works. Artie Tafoya and Mike Parker here with you, and we'll be right back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. All right, we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. As always, make sure to keep up with everything ABC. You can do so by following us on Facebook or by going to the website, abcbrew.com. Learn about all the new beer offerings coming out, seasonal brews, craft spirits, and everything else that you want to learn about, special menu items and events at abcbrew.com. All right, we're back with Artie Tafoya and our special guest, Brian Gross from John Gross and Company today. And I mentioned it, that one of the things that people have learned to do really well over this pandemic period is, outdoor dining, outdoor experiences, even if it's just having an appetizer and a drink. That's something that people have really come to appreciate. Artie, you guys have something new coming around the bend here in Mechanicsburg. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, Mike, we went from the tent that we had out front in Mechanicsburg. And when, I think it was probably 20 or 30 degrees outside, and we're trying to serve food in a tent that's about, about 2 microns thick walls with 5 heaters. And, everybody's wearing their jackets and their scarves. Their food comes out and it's cold immediately. But we've gone from that to seeing the spring here. We're building a beer garden out front of Mechanicsburg. We've already got the fencing up and their picnic tables out in front of the brewery here. And we're putting in a small outdoor service bar that we can have for servicing draft beer and cocktails. You'll be able to order off of our app out at your tables. It won't be direct service to those picnic tables, although we do have the patio open still. That will be the same as our dining room. It'll just be outdoor sales there. But we're very excited about this. We're actually kicking it off with a concert on the 12th, Shrimp Ryan's Jug Band. And there's some local guys from Camp Hill. They're just a lot of fun, play some bluegrass type music, and we're excited to kick off our project and show people what we've got outside by having them here to celebrate.
Speaking of great things to look forward to, maybe picking up a 6-pack from ABC or a growler and headed home. Spring picnics are right around the corner. And Brian, it sounds like you can help us out by getting some food. You don't just have to be a restaurant purveyor, or what's the right word? Operator, I guess, to have restaurant quality food. Tell us a little bit about that marketplace that you guys are operating over there in Mechanicsburg.
Sure. In March of last year, when everything went from 100 mile an hour to 0, I had lots of food in the warehouse and I didn't have anywhere to go with it. I had no customers. We had a retail outlet that we sold product to the general public, but we really didn't turn it toward focus for the general public. Well, that's all changed. We organized to repacking restaurant quality foods in family size portions of 4 to 6 portions of everything from fine steaks and seafood to appetizers and whatever. Open to the public with no membership fee. And it's been received very, very well. As a matter of fact, it's something that I'm considering further locations of. Is it has a home in the market. We are just about to introduce in 2 weeks a new deli opened. I've hired a local chef to cut fresh steaks and seafood to the public. So my father always said, you're always poking at the perimeter. You're trying something a little here, and well, this didn't work. Well, okay, then I learned something there. You've got to innovate, and that's what I think's been so wonderful about the Appalachian Brewing Company is Artie. Though he'll admit they didn't always work, he tried and has built quite a network.
So if I'm getting the address right here, it's 308 Sherrill Avenue, Mechanicsburg, PA.
That's right, just off of Silver Springs Road as you come into Mechanicsburg.
All right, check it out. The Marketplace at John Gross. So you're looking for restaurant quality food to pick up and take home straight from the folks at the John Gross Company. Check it out, the Marketplace at John Gross over there in Mechanicsburg. And the website is johngrossmarketplace.com. All right, well, hey, Artie, we talked about the beer garden. I'm really looking forward to that. Spring is just around the corner. St. Patrick's Day is the 17th of March. I think the official first day of spring is March 20th. We'll probably get 4 feet of snow somewhere around March 22nd. Who knows, right?
Say it isn't so, Mike. Say it isn't so.
No, let's hope not. But I'm really looking forward to actually being able to say, hey, it doesn't just feel like spring. It actually is spring. There's just so many good things around the corner. So it's been great spending time with you guys. Brian, if you would just give us a last quick pitch, where can people learn more? Maybe if I'm an aspiring restaurant owner, or I'm looking for to learn more about a family-owned company like yourself, where can I go for more information about the John Gross Company?
We're starting to do more and more online tutorial videos, just how to use restaurant foods. People are aspiring to create at home and afraid to step out. Well, a lot of products that the generalized restaurants use are ingredients that are really just put together. They're not necessarily in-depth creations. Now, that's not the brewing company, but many of the places that you go for restaurant foods are opening the box that I deliver, heating it and serving, and their keys are there are special sauces, ingredients, oils, and things that the general people can learn how to do, and we're creating videos of tutorials.
All right, and check out the website too. It is jgrossco.com, John Gross and Company. Brian, thank you so much for sharing your story about your company and your partnership with restaurants all across central Pennsylvania, including Appalachian Brewing Company. Artie, as always, great to see you. We'll see you very soon, my friend.
Hey, Mike, great chatting with you today.
All right, looking forward to joining you for a beer out there in the Mechanicsburg Beer Garden. Whichever location is your favorite around the area, check out abcbrew.com for all updates related to Appalachian Brewing Company. Sign up for the Brews letter while you're there and get some updates every month right to your email inbox. All right, guys, it's been a great time. I guess we're looking forward to April when it will officially be spring, and we'll be talking to you in just a couple of weeks. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you once again for supporting us here at Appalachian Brewing Company on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.